Alright, so now we're going to pick up where we left off with the last video, and that's with the definition of a function. Okay, remember we just talked about a relation. A relation is just a set of ordered pairs. A function is a special type of relation. This is a relation in which all x values or inputs are different. Then we've got to talk about a one-to-one function. A one-to-one function pairs one x with one y. There are no repeats for the x's, no repeats for the y's. Okay, so here's your technical definition. Each x pairs with exactly one y value. So now we're going to look at a couple of different mappings below and talk about whether they are a function or not, and if it's a function, is it a one-to-one function? So for this first one here, if you take a look, your domain, those are your x values, they are all different. Each of those goes to one y value. Each of these x's is used once, each of the y's is used once. So here's the thing, because each of these x's are only used once, yes, it is a function. Then, because each of the y's are also used only once, it is also a one-to-one function. All right, for the next mapping, each of these x values are used only once. So yes, this is a function. But if you take a look, these y values, I'm using the 5 more than once. I have two x values going to that same 5 y value. So this is not one-to-one. And the mapping at the bottom. First thing I see here is for the domain, my x values. This 3 is being used more than once, so this is not a function. And because my x is being used twice, the y is being used twice here, this is also not one-to-one. And really and truly, since it was not a function, I really didn't have to check for this, but I figured we could talk about it anyhow. All right, next here are a couple from your textbook. This one's problem 3. It wants to know, is this a function, yes or no? Okay, you go ahead and decide, put it on your paper, and then come back here. I'll give you a little bit of a head start. This one, yes, it is a function because each of those x values are only used one time. Now for part B, what I've got to do, because they've given me a list of ordered pairs, is I've got to make sure I'm looking at the x values. So I'm going to highlight those, and you can see right here and here that I have an x value that repeats. So no, this is not a function. So we can tell from a mapping we can tell from a list of ordered pairs whether a relation is a function or not. We could also figure that out from a table. And I'm going to take you back to page 1 again. If you take a look here at this table, you can see right here these x values repeat. So this is not a function. Okay. You could also tell that from your ordered pairs and your mapping as well. But we've already talked about those. We hadn't seen one of these yet. We've also got to talk about a graph and how to tell if it is a function based on the graph or not. So that's where we come back here and talk about the vertical line test. So the vertical line test says that it determines from a graph whether something is a function or not. And what you're going to do is you're going to place your pencil vertically on top of the graph. So this is my graph. Okay, and right here I only drew in the first quadrant of my coordinate plane. I didn't draw the whole thing. So I'm going to put my pencil vertically on top of that graph, and I'm going to slide it from left to right. It says if the pencil touches only one point at a time, it is a function. If the pencil touches more than one point at a time, it is not a function. So if you look right here, I'm touching just one point, but as I slide it, I'm touching 2 points on that graph right now, and now, and now. So this is not a function. So we're going to stop this video here, and then we'll have one more to finish up section 2.1.